let's make a cutting board.
How about we make 2 cutting boards?
Got this big piece of yellow birch, and the cutting board's gonna be about 18 inches long and 10 inches deep with 1 live edge. Got the slab on the table. Got some wedges to keep it from rocking around. And then I drove a screw up from underneath into this bit of waste wood and into this bit of waste wood here. And it's nice and solid. So then I'll run a flattening pass, make the top nice and pretty, and then I'll flip it over. Do the same thing on the other side. Got my surfacing bit on. It's 1 inch wide, and then, or I guess 1 inch in diameter. I started it at this corner and I zeroed my X and I zeroed my Y, and then I brought it all the way to the opposite corner, and that gave me my X difference and a Y difference of an X difference of 24.248 and a Y difference of 14.395. So then I go into surfacing, and I'm going to set my X to 24.248, 24.248. Set my Y at 14.395, 14.395 on the Y, 14.395, and 24.248. 24.248 on the X, and then I just generate, and I also got my bit diameter in here at 0.98. That's about what it is. And then my step over at 40%, that's fine. Feed rate's around 100 inches per minute. Generate G code, and then I'm going to run that on the main visualizer. So this will be the surfacing that's taken 0.04 of an inch off per pass. I'll do 2 passes first, and then if I need to do more, I'll just run the project again, reset the 0. There it is. So I'm just going to zero my Z, start the job. Finished surfacing the top of this big chunk of yellow birch. Gonna flip it over just to finish flattening the underside, and then we'll be good to go. I just have to cut it out after that. Just drop shape in Carbide Create and cut out the actual cutting board. Screwed in from the bottom. I might do that for the other side too. Look at that. That thing ain't rocking. Heck no. Drive a screw up from underneath. I wonder if I should just hot glue it. Yeah, might as well do the screws. It's easy enough. It's easy enough. It's just junk wood anyway. Boom. One side. G-sender is all set up and ready to go. My birch is fastened down from underneath. And my X, Y, and Z are all set. Let's do this. It's going well. Starting to get a flatter surface. And I picked out a piece for a second cutting board. It does take a while to flatten these things on the CNC. You're not taking off that much material at a time. But I do think it's worth it. And I think it leaves a nice surface. A little bit of burn marks, which I'm curious how to get rid of those. It's a sharp, brand new bit. I don't know. It wouldn't fit on the planer, though maybe it's more finished dimensions would have fit on the planer. That's possible. But certainly as it is, it would not fit on the planer. So it's either like a router sled that I don't have, or this. Or I get closer to the finished dimensions, use the planer. Planer doesn't really flatten it, right? So you'd still need to do this on one surface and then throw in the planer. So I don't know. I guess it remains to be seen. We have a flattened board. It's not obviously smooth, you know, it's gonna need some sanding, but it's pretty nice. It's gonna need lots of sanding, but that's the way she goes. So I'm just going to unscrew this thing from the table. I have it screwed from the bottom. Flip it over. Going to Carbide Create and get the shape of the profile. And then I'm cutting it out. Hey, hey.
It's cold out there.
It is cold, yeah. Ah. So, oh, thank you.
And this was the only thing on the fireplace.
That's it.
Okay.
You got it, Pontiac.
So which one is this? This is the one that's going to be cut, right?
This one's going to be cut.
Okay.
This is the underside.
Yeah.
I'm thinking my next one, when I do this one there,
Yeah.
I'm going to cut this way. Because it seems like whenever it goes this direction, there's less burn marks.
Okay.
So you might have to struggle a little more with this one.
This one's not going to be that thick, right?
How thick does he want it?
2 inches.
2 inches max?
Yeah.
So this is the rectangle that I'm gonna cut out. I got my 1/4 inch end mill in. I got my X, Y, and Z set to the middle. Looking pretty good. It's gonna look really neat once it's cut out. Wish me luck. This is exciting. A little easier than a miter saw. That's for sure. I'm running at about 120 inches per minute. 200 times the speed that I had set up in Carbide. I got a 1/4 inch bit on there. Not taking off a ton of material at a time, so it could be just with such little material, it really handles it no problem. I'm happy with the progress. I don't need to cut all the way through. I can do the rest on the bandsaw and then the router table, so I'm just gonna stop the job here. It's done what it's had to do. Pretty okay with how that went, I will say. Firewood. A nice piece of art for somebody. This is it.
Yeah, it's better. For
Oh,
sure.
it's way better
Way
on
better.
the edges.
Yeah, there's almost
that there is
none.
just more or less a direction of cut. They'll just come out with
Yeah,
sanding.
no, this is great.
That's one nice looking cutting board. Just wait till it's oiled. That's yellow birch.
One of the ways you justify a CNC machine is you kind of consider it a second employee. That means you can't sit here and watch it like a hawk. You want it to work away and do things while you're on the other side of the room, still paying attention, but not watching every little carve and cut that it makes. While the sanding happens on the other cutting board, and then you start flattening this one. I'm gonna try something different here. Instead of screwing up from the bottom, I got these wooden hold downs just with the screw. That should work just fine. And the finished dimension is gonna be 18-ish. So sort of in between the hold downs there. And I'm gonna try cutting this direction this time instead of that direction. See if that makes a difference with the burn, but also with the dust. So I'm hoping I don't get those big stringy strands of wood. So I started on this one last time. It is a spay tool, 1 inch I believe. But then I think it was dull, so then I switched over to this one, which I got from CNC Labs. I ended up switching the inserts, so I'm using the opposite side now, so hopefully it works a little better. Bit diameter is actually, because I switched over, it's 0.98. Leave the feed rate, leave the step over. So our X will be 9.597. Y will be 24.524. For probing, just hit probe. It'll pop up and ask for a touch, and then you just start probe. Boom. Easy peasy. Good double time here. Sanding and CNCing.
Actually, not a huge fan of sanding, to be honest. Actually, I kind of hate it. But I do like the results. It took 2 passes, just down below 2 inches, just a hair. So we'll flip her over and pin it down again and start the next side. Don't have any dust or anything because it'll take away from all that nice work you just did. It is my table's not perfect anyway, but this is, yeah, it's within very acceptable. Very acceptable. Okay, so I mean, I would think that, but obviously the router's gonna hit that. What do I do? Drill, baby, drill. Oh, but I can't do that. Like this. I'll hit that with my countersink it. Without coming up from the bottom. Hold it down a little bit. Last time I did this, I didn't really like it. Could these be the solution? Look at, pull that side right up. These are causing more grief than it's worth. Oh, I don't know. Run on main visualizer, and then we're ready to go. Probe, touch detected, start probe. Probing is much better with the SLB, for sure. Friction fit. I have the slab friction fit. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. The underside of the first cutting board. Get an idea of burn marks. Shoot them out. So far the second cutting board is going very well. Looks really nice. So I'm gonna hop into Carbide Create, and I'm just gonna make a vector that'll have a profile cut there, a vector that'll have a profile cut there, 18 inches, right? Probably by 12, something like that. We'll see how it goes. Feel pretty good about this one. Carbide Create 8, I am running the beta. I think the 8.12 maybe at this point. So I just want to draw a line, great. Draw a second line. I'm sure these are 18 apart, judging by the numbers up there, the ruler. Of course, we are indeed use current selection. It's 2 vectors. I will use my 1/4 inch end mill. Gonna make max depth the T, whatever the thickness of my project is, my stock. T will be that. It's defining this as the outside of this line and to the right. Okay, I get it. It's going to the right. So what I'm probably gonna have to do here is not do this, not have them grouped. So I have 2 vectors and I have to create a tool path for each separately. The left one cuts to the left and the right one cuts to the right. Simply make the tool path for each contour. All the settings are the same for the most part, minus the left and the right. And save that tool path. That looks good to me. Load the file. Looks like 2 cuts to me. Right, so this will be my outside there, my outside there, and half of 18 is 9, right? I'm just gonna bring 14 to the edge of my fence here. And we're at 17. Or sorry, 7. Right? 7's half of 14. I don't really have a square piece to draw an X on, but this will get us there. Doing the Z first, just because that gets me a little closer to the wood. So then when I'm lining up my X and Y, it's just a little closer. It's a little easier to see. It was cutting in one direction there, which would take about 18 minutes. Feels like a bit of a waste of time, so I'm just gonna see, is there a possibility that there's like a cut both directions option? So that's a bit of a bummer, huh? I wonder why that's a thing. Why is that a thing? So I don't really know how to do this, so I'm going to just continue cutting one direction for now. Do some research while it cuts. So that's 2 cutting boards And I did watch these ones a little closer, just where it's the first two on the CNC machine. So it feels like it takes a little longer when you're watching your projects like that. But I think all in all, more time, but a far better product, a lot more accurate, and super flat. So that's it. Thanks for stopping by. Any comments, questions, concerns, thoughts on future videos, that sort of thing, just leave it in the comments. Please like this video, subscribe if you don't mind. I'd like to get monetized, if you know what I mean. God bless you. Peace.